Big Boss Talks, where we give you the down low on how to be a big boss. You're a business owner, an educator, a medical and nail technician with so many A-list celebrity clients. Vanessa and Angela Simmons, Alicia Keys, Swiss Beats, Ariana DeBose, Saweetie, Will and Jada, just to name a few. You also appeared on hit show Nailed It. Tamika Jackson, welcome to Big Boss Talks.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get into it. Can you tell me what a day in the life of Tamika looks like? I know it probably changes.
A day in the life. Changes every day. I'm probably out of my salon probably like at least 7 days in the week, right? It feels like it should be 20 days in the week because of the way that I'm traveling and running. I never know what my schedule is going to be just yet. Sometimes we get last minute calls. I have to go on set. I used to be in my salon at least 6 days. So I'm usually in this studio 6 days out the week. I'm down to 2 or 3. So I'm on set. If it's award season, running from one job to the next. So I could be going to Calabasas.
Right now.
Yes. Going to Calabasas and then running to West Hollywood and then gotta go to another location. So definitely in the car traveling a lot. I spend a lot of time in my car from one next to the next, going to a hotel or doing a house call. So I would say the day in the life is coming back here to get my kit, packing nail colors. I take, for one of my celebrity clients, which we'll talk about later, we take at least about I pack about 150 to 200 colors for her. And then I have assistants that work with me, right? So organizing that, talking with my agent, just making sure that everything is kind of flowing. But I would say a beautiful, hectic, chaotic. This is what happens in the day of life of Tamika. I don't have children yet, so it's I'm just all over the place. Sometimes you have some celebrities that like late night house calls. So I'll go to somebody at 8 or 9 o'clock.
What kind of sets do you mean?
All of it.
Just any kind of set?
Any type of set. I mostly, pretty much everything. Whether it be a commercial. I don't know if you saw, the commercial with Jennifer Coolidge for the Super Bowl.
Oh, I did.
Yes, girl, with the elf.
I did.
That was me. I did her nails for that commercial. So it could be commercial with Quinta Brunson for Olive Olay, Retinol 24, that commercial ran, that commercial just ran and ran. So so it could be any set, whether it be a music video, but I probably spend the most on music videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me how you got where you are today? What's that journey like?
What was that journey like? It was hell.
Really?
It was actually hell. I went through a lot. Connecticut is not a licensing state for manicurists. Was not a licensing state for manicurists when I was looking to move to Los Angeles. Los Angeles has always been a dream of mine. When I was 19, I wrote my little bio, I'm always gonna move to LA. People think about the Big Apple. I was like, no, I want to go where it's warm. I'm in Connecticut, it's cold. So I would say that what I went through was a lot. I had to go back to school twice to be able to get my license to even move here. So before I can even consider even just working in a salon here, I had to go back and get my license after I had already been in school. So they would not take my hours. So starting all over after 10 years was mental for me. I had such a strong,
what was after 10 years?
After 10 years, I started over, going back to school, and just to be able to come here because they don't take reciprocity from Connecticut. So I did everything and flew here 3 times. I failed the exam in the middle of me being on Nailed It. I was competing for $100,000, but taking a nail exam on how to do nails. That has to be
irony of that.
right? Competing for $100,000 on a reality show. And then, so my journey is really my testimony, because it's not as people say, you go through the mud, or I don't have that story that I lived in my car to come to LA. That ain't the story I got.
I know sometimes it feels like that story your story isn't worth it if you don't have one like that, but everybody has their own. I kind of feel like that too. I didn't live out of my car, but I struggled to get here, sure.
Yes. So but my struggle started with something that Connecticut should have stopped at the door, right? Because why shouldn't you have a nail license to do people's, it's an e-file, it's an electric drill, it's some cutters, some scissors, sharp objects. And so to go through that, it was.
That sounds like surgery.
Girl, it's surgery. Nails is surgery.
Oh, that's true. Also medical, so you probably know about all that stuff too.
Right. So it was a struggle, but the journey was worth it, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I
mean, can you tell us what Oscars week looked like for you that just passed? So I know you're probably still recovering from that week. So how was it?
Yes, ma'am. That week was really busy because you also have mixed in, outside of like taking care of Oscar clients, you have people who are like still getting, just like if you're celebrities that are not attending the Oscars but also have other things going on. So you're mixing that in as well too. But Oscar day, I didn't eat. So you have to have snacks in the car. And I forgot my snacks. I forgot my Hydro Flask. I just forgot too much stuff just running like the night before I had did a house call. So it's like trying to have balance, right? And don't even try to throw in a man, honey, because that's like trying to date, right? Because that's realistic as well too.
You're single?
I'm single and dating.
Situationship? Oh, okay.
Single and dating, but Oscar day was busy. It started in the morning. I woke up at 6 and I had my first client at 8:30. So I like to arrive about 20 minutes early just in case, the client is not prepared. They're not up. Like, get up, Temeka's here. And then I just ran from one place to the next, and it was. Luckily, I was very grateful that they all kind of were in the same vicinity. So I was, I kind of stayed within like the Hollywood, Beverly Hills area, which I was grateful for because I really needed them to be close. Only one person just, was a little bit further, but still within the same vicinity. So that day I didn't eat dinner until probably 6.
6 p.m.
I was chewing gum. I honestly,
makes me hungrier.
Double Mint got me through. I mean, my client gave me water. I asked for water, but Double Mint got me through that day. But that's not a typical day. I would say definitely pack snacks.
So you went from nursing to nail technician. Can you talk a little about what inspired this change? And if anybody else is looking to drastically change their career, how would you advise them to do it?
It was unplanned. Nails was a hobby for me in the beginning when I was going into doing nursing and wanting to work in the hospital. Nails was just something I was looking to do just for fun. And I got into it like just a little bit crazy, just like, okay, I'm going to do nails. And while I'm working at the hospital. So it wasn't something that I would say, like, I just said, okay, I'm going to change from nursing to nails. And then when I got into it, I got more into it doing the Obama nails. That really like set me over. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just kind of flow into it. I would probably say if someone's looking to change their career, like mine just so happened to just flow into that when I got more into it, because I didn't get like a lot of great feedback as a Black nail artist. I worked in a Vietnamese nail salon for 8 years. Oh. And so people would come in and be like, you work here? See me sitting on this side of the table and still be like, you work here? And I'm just like, well, who else is here? Because, I'm sitting behind the table. So I would say, like, if you're going to do like a change like that, I still keep something, like keep your current job, see how you want to flow into it first, and really kind of just see, but trust the process, right? Because faith, you cannot just jump into something without having some type of faith. So for me, I believe in that. It's a faith move. Because it's not something that you're going to see. It's not something that you're going to foresee, like the future, right? So you got to just like go into it, like trust in the process and kind of let it flow. But I will say with this change, moving to LA and Connecticut, I did both. I still worked at the hospital. I still did nails. In LA, I just do something. I do it per diem to keep my license, but I absolutely do not do it at all like full time like I was. So I straight do nails full time. So I've been here, 7.5 years? So doing it full time. So it's possible.
So you were recently in Shade Room for doing somebody's nails, a certain somebody, and she mentioned that it takes 8 hours. Can you elaborate on who this is and how and why it takes 8 hours?
Well, first of all, I love my girl Saweetie.
So do we.
Okay. I'm just going to say this. Beauty takes time. And when you're doing house calls, it's a lot that goes into the house call. And so, if it does take nails, generally, like, I wouldn't be a business owner if it took me 8 hours to do nails on one client, right? But when you're doing house calls, it's a little different. So the client could be doing things. She could have mentioned, she could have been talking about a music video. I mean, we don't know. She didn't specify, right?
Right.
So I don't know what I would have to ask Sweetie, like, Sweetie, what are you talking
What
about?
occasion are you
Like,
talking
which
about?
one are you talking about? So for me, I'd have to ask her to be a little bit more elaborate with the question. I mean, with her response to say it took 8 hours to get her nails done. I mean, I gotta ask her which occurrence are you referring to? But I will say beauty takes time, and she does have like 4 to 5 inch long nails. So her nails do take time, but I have to ask her which occurrence. You're talking about a music video, house call. We got to ask her, but since she's not here.
What's the biggest mistake you think you made just at the beginning of your career, just starting out your business, that you wish you could maybe do over or change?
The biggest mistake I made was allowing people to get in my head, allowing people to tell me that I couldn't do it. I would say, like I said, just, I hate to say it like this, but it's very, very true. Just people that look like me was probably my worst.
Really?
Yes. And as much as I love the Black community, and we in Power, we have so many, like, we're the biggest, those are my biggest customers, Black women, right? But when I started, because I was in a foreign setting, they didn't know how to receive that. I was down the street from Yale University. That's where the salon was. Kind of like how USC is adjacent to the hood here, right?
Yeah.
Yale is the same way. And so I think that people didn't know how to receive me. And so I would let people get into my head. And that's the biggest mistake I made, was just like listening to other people's expectations of what I look like, and that, you sure you could do this, or are you good, and allowing those things. Because if you hear that over and over again, you question yourself, like, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
And I think I did that for too long. That was probably the biggest mistake, is to, like, you have to cancel the noise out.
Well, you definitely did. It's canceled.
It's canceled. I was like, I'm done. It's over.
Who was the first celebrity you ever worked with?
Vanessa Simmons.
Yeah?
Yes, Vanessa Simmons was my first celebrity when I moved here. The salon I worked in had a lot of, like, they had a lot of celebrities there. Sierra was my second. But Vanessa was my first, and it couldn't have been a better first. She was so sweet. She was so kind, just like very warm, because I'm like, celebrities are people. So we have to see them as people first, right? So it's like, if you take care of people, and then working in a hospital, I'm used to taking care of people. So I think nails is the same way. We're taking care of people. So just in beauty. And so she just made it really easy, but she was my first.
So for our last question, where do you see yourself in the next 20 years?
I would say I see myself owning my own nail school, because that's something I definitely want. And my product brand just bringing in millions, and being able to have a bestseller. I see myself just really, like, being able to teach other people to do what I do, and to make it, like, to be successful in it. To go from, like, making more than when I was working in the hospital, working in nursing, doing nails is heavy. And so if you can get to that standpoint, when they say 6 figures, that's a real life thing. That's a real life thing in the nail business. Some people say it and they don't mean it, but to get there, I was like, wow, God, I thank you. So yes, that's it. That's all.
Thank you guys for watching. You're watching Big Boss Talks with Temeka Jackson.
Thank you for having me.